(213). Okay, 213-457-3417. Okay. All right. Close that. That noise, get rid of it. Keep me signed in. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 7, 8, 9. Okay, signing in. 2, 2, 3, 4. Did I send it? I sent it right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 4, 5, 7, 3, 4, 1, 7. Yeah. Sweet cherry pie. Let's see. 1, 2, 1, 3, 4, 5, 7, 3, 4, 1, 7. What the fuck? Ask friends to call you at this number and pick up on Skype wherever you are in the world. Skype number, huh? No, get. Skype number settings. Sarah Pias. I think she should be here, huh? Contacts. Sarah Pierce. Andrew Pierce. No, I'm gonna spell. Okay. Add contact. And Drew kiosks. Find. Okay, there.
Hello?
There we go.
Hey, there we go. Okay.
I'm not sure I understand.
Okay. Hush up, Siri.
You need to go talk to Grandma. Close the door behind you. Go see Grandma downstairs. All right. All right.
All right. Well, that should do it. That
Sounds
should
a
do
lot
it.
better.
I don't. Technology. Somebody was I'd waited for a month, I guess, to interview with this guy about 2 weeks ago, and the same kind of thing. He said, "I'm having technical difficulties." I said, "Me too." And so I figured my side out in about like 7 minutes, and he's still having problems. And so it happens. Yeah. Joe Rogan doesn't go through this stuff, so I'll get there.
I know, man. They seem like they got their shit together. Hey, go down to see Grandma. I'm talking to somebody right now on business call. No, don't go wake up, Michael. Come here. You can be in here, but you gotta be quiet. Close the door. You want to watch PBS Kids on my phone?
Watch Lippy.
No, I'm not gonna put YouTube on. It's dangerous.
That's right.
Lippy.
No, you watch all those kids undo all their toys, all the craziness, and that creates bad juju in your brain that makes you want to go buy stuff. Go sit down. All right.
I have a friend who she would not let she didn't buy cable because of that, because of commercials, and she didn't want her kid wanting everything. So I guess for like the first 5 years of his life, he had never seen live TV.
That's how, man. We don't have live TV. We just stream everything.
If we didn't have commercials on everything, I'd probably do the same thing. If I was home, I'd probably do the same thing, but I'm never home.
Quiet.
Hey, you're in my space, fool. You need to go over to see Grandma. You don't tell me to be quiet like I'm interrupting you.
Be quiet.
Here, come on. Well, then you need to leave. Well, go see Grandma downstairs. Hey, I'm trying to talk to somebody on the computer, and I don't need to have time to sit and have a bit with you. Go.
Okay, cool. So, I think we could pick up from. You were talking about being from a rural area and playing football and fishing. So you can pick back up from there.
Pre-military Andrew was
pre-military Andrew. That's what it was.
Just a carefree kid, really, man. Like I said, I didn't really have any plans for the future because I think you need to get out of here right now and stop coming in. Go.
No.
Daddy's trying to get something done. Go. Sorry, my toddler has a bad case of I do what I want.
You know, Jake's getting there. Jake is learning the word no.
Oh, man. Yeah, that's the first word out of Gabriel's mouth.
No.
Okay. Take 15. We're going to get...
It'll sound nicely edited like it was never there before, so.
Yeah, we should be all right now. Okay. Pre-Navy Andrew, like I said, I was a carefree kind of kid, not focused on anything in the future. Like, really, I had no long-term plans, like, of joining the service, even though I actually joined up before I was 18. During my senior year, I turned 18 in January, but it was kind of hey, you're going to be done with high school after this. I hadn't really set anything up. Like I said, my grades weren't top. I don't even think I could have qualified to go to college right away. I had to start at community college, and even that at 18, I didn't even know anything about community college. And so really the military was kind of like an option for me. Not that it was my last option, but I did my research and I looked into the other branches, and I had that kind of tinge that I knew I didn't know what I wanted to do, but I knew I needed to get out of where I was and see something different to figure out what I wanted to do.
How'd you get to the point where you kind of made the decision, I need to see something different? Because I asked that being that when you're from a small town and you haven't had a lot of traveling experiences, and being in the military, a lot of those guys never thought about leaving, right? Leaving their security blanket.
I think that's right. I think a lot of guys in that go in the service who are in the same boat as me, and they don't think about what's going to happen after high school. A lot of guys go in from these rural towns, as many guys that go in from bigger cities, and it's just, I think that's a lot of the mindset on all of them. But I think the difference with me, knowing like, hey, I need some vehicle to propel me out of where I'm at now so I can figure out what I want to do, was actually travel. I was fortunate that, like I said, we moved from California. I still had family out there. So I would spend summers as a kid. I would spend entire summers with my family in like the Seattle area in Washington or in the Bay Area. So like, I knew that there was something else out there beyond my hometown. It's just by the time I got finished with high school, I was like, oh man, my options are limited. How am I going to get out there? So I knew I needed something to get me out of my hometown. And, I think looking back on it, I think in my mind, I was always there. Like I never really, I think it always floated the idea of the service being what I did after high school. Uh-huh. I just never took anything in high school seriously. So I never had like plans for it until the very end of high school. Yeah. So that was pre-high school Andrew. I had like my fly fishing rod in the back of my truck, and I missed a record amount of days of school my senior year. had to stand in front of the school board and plead not to like basically be expelled or have to come back to let me finish up. So yeah, that was pre-Navy Andrew.
Oh man, and you came full circle. I mean, because that's not post-Navy Andrew at all.
No, we were laughing. Me and my mom were laughing. So this is my mindset. And if you know me, I mean, you can get it from this conversation. I'm all over the place. And when I was in grade school, they put me in special ed because I would not sit still or pay attention in class. And it was probably because just the shit they were putting on me had held no interest to me whatsoever. But it wasn't obviously because of cognitive ability. Yeah. And I think that parlays into, we'll talk, I think we're going to pick up on that thread later, but yeah, that was a big part of it. It was just that's kind of always been a thread with me, especially in high school. I had the ability, but I didn't have the direction.
And maybe a sense of not being challenged as well, right?
I think that's part of it. I think our schools, I have problems with, how we teach, and not problems with how we teach, but coming to the understanding that children learn differently and are motivated and stimulated differently, and that we can't have the same playbook for every kid because it's going to lead kids who have awesome cognitive abilities to end up in special ed.
Yeah, 1,000%. And that's kind of a big belly button in I guess, social talks right now. The education system, I say all the time to some of my professors, like because I'm in my grad program using voc rehab, and I tell them if I had to pay for this education, I'd be pretty pissed off at this point in my life right now. So just because I don't feel it the same kind of way, I'm more of a doer, a visual learner, a hands-on guy, and I'm not getting any of that, and I'm the only student in my program, so it's not a matter of that they're just drowned out by other grad students in my program. So I get that. I get the turn of not fitting the learning norm, and I think I had that same problem.